Hello my lovelies, how are you? Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all well. We are a little bit knackered. Sunday was incredible. We had such a brilliant time, but it's a lot being live for 12 hours. But I think I looked on the charity page this morning and we are at £895 we've raised. That's before gift aid. So yeah, that's an incredible amount of money. Thank you so much for everybody who sponsored us, who joined in with us. It was a really good day, and we've got everything packaged up. It's all ready to go to the post office. Everybody who won projects. So unless we're bringing it to Newark, we've got some bits that some people said they were going to pick it up at Newark. So yeah, it's really lovely day. And then I've got some news to share. I had a really busy day yesterday. I had a meeting. I had to get the group quilt, which is what we're going to be announcing today and showing you what we're going to be doing. The group quilt sorted yesterday morning. Then I had a meeting, which went on for a lot longer than I thought. Then I had to whip over to Gail, Edda Threads Gail's house, and we set up her studio ready for Secret Sewing Club this Sunday. And then I came back, and then I had to get all the stuff ready for the group quilt onto the website. And then I had another meeting. So yeah, it was. I think I stopped about 10:15 last night. I was just like, oh, I'm very quiet, am I? Oh, okay. Give me 2 seconds, lovely. Let me just check the. Am I quiet for everybody? Let me just check. It might be the levels on the microphone, so it's fine there. Let me just go into the settings and double check. Sorry, 2 seconds. Sound. Where's my microphone? There's the microphone. We did have to turn it down. It is plugged. It's on really loud, love. Is it quiet for everybody, or is it just you can hear fine? It's quiet, yeah. Oh, hello. Sound okay there? Right, I'll turn it up a bit there as well. But sometimes you get a lot of feedback otherwise. Hopefully that's better. Guys. I've turned everything up, so I don't know why it's quiet, guys. You can't hear you at all. Okay. Right, I will turn it up a little bit more and see if that. But then you tend to get a bit of feedback. Okay, right. Is it as high as it possibly can be now? I'm hoping, but see now it's feedback in there. Let's try that. It's going in the red, you see. Try that. How's that, guys? Better now? Better. Right, okay, I've got it turned right up. It might get a bit feedbacky. Let me know if it is. I might have to turn it back down again, okay? Now you've got feedback. You're too loud now. Oh, guys. Okay. Too high. Okay, right. I turn that down a little bit. There we go. Right. That's not hit. That's all in green when I talk. That's all in green now. Is that still too loud? Too high. I'm just going to wait. So I've turned it back down. I'm in because it goes from green to amber to red for like the feedbacky thing. It's a very fine balance. Sorry, guys. It's a very fine balance. Trying to get the right sound because it's done on just different ones. Right. Okay. We're going to leave it at that. I'm really sorry if you have to turn down or turn up yourselves. Okay. You just have to do your own volumes, guys. Okay. So, my first meeting was with Sewing Street. So we can now announce that we are going to be on Sewing Street. The meeting went really well. And we're going to be on Sewing Street on the 15th of March, which is International Quilting Day. So yes, that I'm really excited actually. Obviously when Create and Craft all went under and everything, it left a bit of a hole, and we're still doing Secret Sewing Club. We'll still carry on with that because that's great and it gives us loads and loads of demo time and stuff. But we have got some shows booked on Sewing Street, so we will be back on your tellies. at 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock on March the 15th. So that's all really exciting. So that meeting went really well. The other meeting I can't talk about at the moment. That's something in the pipeline. And I will let you know later on about that in a couple of weeks' time, probably, once I've hashed all the details out. But anyway, that's enough chatter. What we're going to do today is we're going to do the new group quilt. I want to get this quilt put in to Malvern show and into Festival of Quilts again. Okay, and then maybe later on in the year as well. So, Sharon, that's going to be your birthday. Oh, fantastic. Oh, well, happy birthday for then. I'll try and remember. Excuse me. If I do, I'll say happy birthday on screen for you. You're just teasing us now. Yes, I am. Group quilt. We're hoping to put it into May's, Malvern and Festival of Quilts again. Okay, so this I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to tell you what the final quilt is going to look like, because it's very different. Okay, this is going to work slightly differently. You're all going to, everyone who wants to join in can make this block. Okay, I want to make the block. I want you all to make a block for me and send them to us. I've put them on the website ready. It's in the shop section, 2025. There is a set amount. We've only got 65 spaces for this one because of the design of the overall quilt. I can only put 65 blocks in. Okay, there are some that are going to have white background, there are some that are going to have pale grey background, there are some that have got dark grey, and there are some that have got black. Okay, this all will make sense in a minute once we start making the block. So there are set amounts of those, so you just need to buy a pack basically. I've put them on at £2.50 but with free postage, okay, because they go as a large letter, which is about £1.20 something now, so that covers the cost of the fabric and the postage for £2.50. They're live on the website straight away. You can buy a pack. I mean, you guys have been asking me about group quilts, and I've been playing around with this design for a long time, and I think I've got what I want now, how it's all going to look, but I need you guys to join in. So we're going to go over to the overhead so I can talk you through this. We're going to do inset circles, which I've got a couple of old ones here which need ironing. I'm going to show you how to do the inset circles, okay, and then we're going to talk about what you're going to put in here. Now, the background fabrics are set. That's what I've put on the website. You will get, in your little kit, you're going to get your templates, you're going to get your freezer paper. There's only one per person, guys, as well, okay? Please only buy one. If towards the end there are a few left and you want to do a second one, absolutely. But just go with one per person to start with so that as many people as possible can join in. You will get your background fabric, you'll get your template, and you've got freezer paper in there as well, which is what you'll need, okay? The bit that is going to be individual to you is what you put in the centre, okay? So you will have seen me do, if you watched Secret Sewing Club the other day, you'll seen me do the inset circles, okay, through the round window. And it's a really easy technique, and it makes a really beautiful aperture, which you can then put whatever you want behind, okay? You can put anything at all you like behind it. And as I'm going to iron and starch my square, so I'm doing a pale grey one, okay? As I'm starching this, we're going to talk through what you're going to put in your aperture. Now, it could be just a single piece of fabric. It could just be a really beautiful fabric that you think, I love this fabric, and that's what I'm going to do for mine. It's my favourite piece of fabric. It's me. That's me in a fabric. You could just put a single piece of fabric behind it. You could, and as you can see, I'm really starching well. I'm going to do both sides, and I'm going to do about 3 or 4 layers. If you can, starch your background fabric really well, okay? You could just, like with the through the round window, which is, I've got one over here somewhere. Where is it gone? Where's that piece gone? Oh, what have I done with it? Oh, it might be in a box somewhere. It could be jelly roll strips sewn together and in the aperture, okay? It could be mylaminitin, which is what these are. Just all your little scraps all together of your favourite fabrics. It could be a piece of machine embroidery. that you put in there. You do, if like Lynn, you're amazing with your machine embroidery. It could be a piece of machine embroidery that you're going to put in your aperture. It could be a fabric painted piece. You could paint totally on fabric and put that behind it. It could be a piece of embroidery. Maybe you've got a fabric, maybe you're really into red work or embroidery. You could do a beautiful design and put that behind the aperture. You can put whatever you want behind the aperture, okay? What your feature fabric is, okay? Whatever you want in this centerpiece, okay? You've already ordered, amazing. So I called it feature fabric on the template and inset circle used to cut out aperture. You've got 2 sizes on your template in the pack, okay? So whatever your feature, what I mean by feature fabric is the fabric that is going to sit behind the aperture. Inktense pens, absolutely. That's what I'm going to be doing mine, I think. I'm going to be using a piece of fabric that I love. I've had it squirreled away for about 12 years and it's what I'm going to put behind it because it speaks to me, this fabric. It's beautiful. Starch your backing square. Now I've given you plenty. I've given you at least 10 inches square, okay? The block is going to end up being 8.5 by 8.5, but I've given you 10 inches in the pack to give you a bit of wiggle room, okay? So I've starched my background square. That's what you're going to do first. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut out from your template the inset circle. So I need I want fabric scissors. Where's my, there they are. There's my paper scissors. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the inset circle to start with. Okay, you're going to need both of them, but we're going to cut this one out first. Like this. Now, this is going to be a little bit repetitive because obviously if you watch Secret Sewing Club and you watch me do the through the round window, it's the same technique. It's just what you put behind it is your choice. If you really love English paper piecing, you could do some lovely little hexes and make a piece of fabric to go behind it. You could do some crazy patchwork, some fabric which has got rickrack and decorative stitches and beading and sequins, whatever you want behind the aperture. Okay, so I've cut that out. You will then get a piece of freezer paper in your pack as well. Freezer paper's got shiny side is wax, the other side is paper. Okay, I'm going to fold that in half like that, and I'm going to pop my little template on like that. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a circle. Where's all my pencils gone? There we go, there's one. Okay, and I'm just going to draw around the template on the fold. Okay, so this is the fold this side, put the long straight bit on the fold and draw around. Okay, like this. Ooh, not wobbly like that. Do it nice and neatly. The neater you can get this, the better it works, okay? Can you ask why do you need to starch the fabric still into quilt? That's all right, Sharon. So with this technique, because we're going to be cutting into it and manipulating it, when you starch the fabric, what it does is it holds the threads in place, so it behaves itself. It doesn't stretch out as much, okay? So you want to, the starch basically, it doesn't glue, but it kind of, obviously you've got threads going that way and threads going that way. When you starch it, it holds everything a little bit more stable, okay? Claire, you've got a few orphan blocks would suit. Yeah, absolutely. You could put an orphan block behind. You could do, oh, who's the lady's, I can't think what the lady's name is, who does the incredible miniature quilts. You could do a teeny tiny miniature quilt to go behind it. You could do anything. It could be big. At the very basics, it can be a piece of fabric, but you can put anything you want behind the aperture. I want you to make it yours. I want it to represent you, okay? Because this is going to go into a group quilt, so we're going to have all the, I've gone with neutrals as the background fabric, so that we're going to get what you'll be able to see all these beautiful colours inside. Okay, so next thing I want to do is fold this fabric in half like that, and I'm going to iron a line through, so I've got finding my middle point, and fold it again and iron. I'm basically creating a couple of grid lines. Okay, like that. Can you see now I've got those grid lines? I'm going to do the same with that circle that I've just cut out, okay? So I've got one already. If I fold it in half that way as well, crease in, just finger press those lines in. And then what I want to do is you're going to match up those grid lines. And that means it'll be in the center of, can you see I'm just moving it around so that my grid lines match like that, okay? Except I want to do it on the wrong side. Wrong side of the fabric, match up, not the right side. I nearly ironed it on the wrong side then. Okay, so line up on the wrong side of the fabric, the grid lines of your circle with the grid lines, and I've got the shiny, the wax side down, okay? So, and then we're going to iron that in place because it's a wax. So it just temporarily holds that in place like that, okay? What's that, Heather? Are you going to get this all finished or we get to see it next January? No. So I promise you this will be finished because this is going in May's. I will need your finished blocks by the middle of March. Let's say by the 15th of March, the same day I'm on Sewing Street. I will need your finished blocks by the 15th of March to give me and Anne and Sarah probably time to put these all together and get them quilted ready for May. Okay, so you've still gives you like 8 weeks to get this done, 8-9 weeks. I've ironed my freezer paper circle on the center, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a Frixion pen because it disappears. I'm going to trace round. All the freezer paper is doing is tracing an exact, it's a template. It's allowing me to transfer the size circle I want to my fabric, okay, like this. I'm just doing that, and again, the neater and more careful you can be on this bit, the better the block will look. So take your time to really get that circle correct all the way around like that, okay? And then you can peel that off. You can use that again, but you know, you can use it for, you know, other things. Then you've got to be brave, okay? Inside the circle, make a little nick and get your scissors up. Now you're going to cut off, you're going to leave about a good 1/4 inch, slightly bigger than a 1/4 inch all the way around. What diameter is the circle so I can practice? It's 5.5 inches, I believe. It's 5.5 inches here, but you'll have the template, remember, in the pack, so you can do, you know, you can do as many of these to practice on scrap bits, but remember your background fabric must be the stuff that comes in the pack, guys, okay? So I'm going to cut round, leaving about a good 1/4 all the way around, okay, like that. It feels very counterintuitive to do this, but it's right, I promise. All the way around. There we go. And like that, okay? Next thing we want to do is we want to clip into this seam allowance, that little bit there we've left. So do not clip past the drawn line, okay? If you clip past the draw line, you're going to see it on the front. So nice sharp pair of scissors, little scissors, and clip up. And you want quite a few clip, you know, can you see what there's about 1/4 of an inch, every 1/4 of an inch you're going to clip up. You can't pink and shear this, you need to clip because we're going to be sewing into this, okay? So we're going to clip all the way around, and you want to just touch the line, but don't go over it. And I'm going to take my time. I know this is boring for you to watch, but I'm going to take my time with this, okay? I mean, you can practice with any size circle. Just use a mug or a side plate or something. You know, it doesn't have to be the same size as the template to practice. But if you're going to do like a feature fabric, you might want to just sort of like fussy cut a piece of fabric to go behind. So what's everybody going to do? Are they going to have a go at embroidery? They're going to do some fabric painting. I mean, you could literally just, you know, paint, you know, if you're an arty, you could paint a whole little scene, You know, you could paint, you could do a portrait, you could do whatever you want. You could do some embroidery, you could do red work. EPP I think would look lovely. If you did some little hexes and put them all together with lots of different pretty fabrics, that would look cute. Or tumbling blocks or something. It could be, you know, maybe you've got, what did we do? We did a little foundation paper pieced butterfly, which came about that big. You could do some foundation piecing behind it. What are you all thinking? Talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking while I'm doing this clipping. Have you got ideas already? You know, it could be, it could, like I said, could be just a simple piece of fabric. It could just be some mile a minute with your scraps. It could be just jelly rolls or squares, anything at all. What are you thinking? You got ideas? None of you are talking to me, so whether you've got ideas or not, I don't know. Right, once you've clipped all the way round, finger press this back. So what you're going to do is just gently finger press this back, okay, like that. Okay, and once I've done a few like that, I'm then going to get my iron, and just then press those few. Take your time, don't rush it, press those few. Work your way round. This is incredibly easy to do, but if you've not done it before, just take your time, okay? Just take your time, a little bit at a time, like that. There's the next bit, there, like that. We're going to work our way round. And what we're doing is creating, if you've ever done any paper craft, it's like one of those aperture cards. We're creating a really nice, neat, modern aperture for something to go behind. Okay, so here we go. There, behind that. This is another reason we start. I can't get my words out. Starch as well. Memories using fabrics bought on special holidays, possibly embroidery. Casey Patrick, lush. Thinking embroidery as well. Applique for you, Julia, and lovely. Nikki, Crazy Patrick, and scrap buttons, nice. I love that idea. Nikki, you're thinking EPP, maybe with some embellishments, lovely. We need a week jumping from one idea to another. Yes, Jackie, you will. But you know, like you said, maybe do a couple of practice ones and decide what you like. Think about. I think I'd like what you put behind it to represent you. Do you remember when we did the group quilt that was everybody's initials? And that was really lovely because that was a little bit of all of you in that quilt. It was very, very personal. The Manx one, even though you used your own fabrics, not so much. It was just all blue blocks. But this really gives you, you know, are you a crazy cat lady or a, you know, loopy dog person? It could be a dog fabric or a little EPP or a painting or something of your cat or your dog, your favourite fabric, all the rest of it. Does the freezer paper come in the pack? It does, lovely. I've given you the freezer paper, the template and your background fabric, okay? So once you've done that all the way around, flip it over and press it really well from this side too, okay? The sharper you can get this crease, the better. And that's another reason why we starch. It means that the creases really stay in there, okay? So take your time to prep this a little bit. So I've really got that nice and sharp, and then I'm going to go back again this side and double. You want a good crease there because that's going to be our stitch line in a minute, okay? So give it some welly. Stitch round. Okay, this is going to be put aside for a second. All right, so I'm popping that aside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our feature fabric. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I am going to use one fabric, okay? It is a fabric I absolutely love, and it may be my actual block. In fact, it probably will be, because this fabric is I don't know why, it's very special to me. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting, oh my God, I'm using my fabric scissors for paper. No! Family gecko. Yeah, you could do lots of little geckos if you wanted to. You know, maybe one of us will do a gecko. It could be anything, whatever you like. You know, maybe you're really into music and you're just going to put a really beautiful piece of fabric behind it that's got like musical notes and stuff on it. Or you're a reader and you could do a mini bookshelf to go behind it. You know, lots and lots of ideas. Right. I can't believe I just used my my scissors for fabric, for paper then. Whew. Whew. Right. There's my template for my feature fabric. As you can see, it's bigger. Okay, it's bigger. It's 6.5 inches rather than 5.5. It needs to be because of what we're going to do. Let me move this out of the way. Everybody's with me so far. Are you all with me on this? I am going to use a little piece of this. Okay, this is a Dashwood Studio fabric that I bought about 10-11 years ago. It's my most most favourite fabric ever. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love it. I meant all of us as family geckos. Oh, you are absolutely, my darling. You are all our family geckos. I love this fabric. In fact, actually, if I go close up, I love this fabric. It's just delicious. It's the colours that I love. It's got, you know, it's navy and teals and blues. It's got a bear on it, and I love bears so much. And I love this the geometrics, because I'm not a floral girl, but it's pretty without being floral. It's just one of my favourites. So I'm going to do this as my feature fabric, okay? So I'm going to iron it, and I want to put that bear. I want to put that bear in there, okay? Now, if you've got a 6.5 inch circle ruler, which I'm lucky I do have, which is that one, means I can fussy cut it. And I can make sure that my bear is pretty much front. Now, I want some of this. I want that little bunny in there as well. So I'm going to put my bear. If I do that to there. No, it needs to go a bit higher. There to there. Yep, that works perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to use that tree is like the centre line. I'm just going to make a little mark. Now, I'm fussy cutting. If you're fussy cutting, and you want to get something exact, use this on a piece of template plastic. Cut it out on a piece of template plastic so you can or draw around it with something, you know, and make sure what's in the circle is right. Okay, like I said, this is what I'm going to use on this sample because I love it. Now I'm going to just line this back up. I'm going to pop this on like that. Now, if you're not fussy cutting, okay, if you're not fussy cutting, you don't need to worry about this too much, okay? Just use the feature the template, fold it in half, just like we did when we cut the circle out of the background and cut out. But I am fussy cutting, so I am going to use it like this. So I'm going to go round like that. There. Ooh. And then I'm going to flip it, line it back up like that, and draw around this side. Okay, now you can either cut on the fold like we did a moment ago with the background, or you can do this, or you can make a circle out of template plastic, whatever you want to do. Okay, I want to end up with a circle the right size like that. I'm going to cut that out. Okay, by the time yep, that's about right. So I'm going to cut that one out. At least you can change the blade. Oh, I've missed something. You've caught your husband using your rotary cutter on thick something. Oh no, it was a brand new titanium blade. Oh no. Oh yes, I would be having words with him. Right, I'm going to cut this out slightly bigger so it's easier for me to cut out accurately. This is my last half metre of this fabric. Oh, I'm sacrificing it for this. What have I done with the circle? There it is. Oh, it's all got... Right, I'm going to cut this out. So again, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves, my loves, while I cut this out, because again, I want to just cut it out nice and neatly. Like that. There we go. Yeah, I just think you can... See, I could also do fabric paints into this as well, couldn't I? I could put fabric paints on it and colour it, and like Sarah was saying, like an aurora borealis type colours on it. I could get my Inktense pencils out and use those. but just for today, I'm just going to do this as is, like this. Okay. There we go, nearly there. It's not as important to get this really accurate as it is the inset circle bit, but you still want it pretty good, okay? I'm now going to give this a quick starch as well. I should have done that before I cut it out, but I forgot. So we're going to give it a very quick best press. Okay. There we go. Right. What we're going to do now, so you want both pieces. So this is going to end up sitting over there. Ooh, like that. Okay, so that's going to end up sitting like that. Okay. I might actually like embroidering stuff into it as well. I might sort of like, you know, do some Zentangle and all into it and play around with it. But we're just going with it for today, okay? I'm going with the fact that I wanted that little bunny. I want my bear nice and central. And I've got that little bird there, okay, like that. Okay, it's probably not the right fabric to do on screen for you guys, but it is what it is. It's what I'm doing. You will need some sort of glue, whether it is a fabric glue pen or it is the Roxanne Dib and Dab, some sort of glue. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a teeny tiny little bit of glue, something that not PVA, because that's going to seep through and go through onto this, okay? A fabric safe glue. So the Soline fabric glue pens are great. The Roxanne Dib Dab, something like that, okay? We are going to put a dab of glue on each of the tabs on the back, like that, all the way round. There we go, like that. Hi Alan, how are you, lovely? And then I'm going to put this on here. So let's just, I'm using the lines on my mat just to get this right. And then I'm going to put this over like that. Okay, and make sure. Now some of your tabs will, can you see, will stick out. That's fine as long as you've got it stuck down all the way round. I'm going to come back to the ironing board and we're going to give that an iron as well, because that will help glue it down and keep it in place. Are you all with me, guys? Are you making sense? This is, you know, not too difficult, I hope. Okay, there we go. So there we go, that's all stuck in place. Now we need to sew, finally. Where we're going to sew, so what you're going to do is we're going to sew, we're going to pull this back out of the way and we're going to sew along that seam line, along the crease here. Okay, that's why you wanted to put a really sharp crease in. So we're going to stitch all the way around here, okay, in that ditch, in that crease. We're going to do it slowly. We're going to do like 3 or 4 stitches, put your needle down, reposition, 3 or 4 stitches, reposition to get a nice smooth curve. I would use a bigger circle of interface, which would be easier to do. We're not doing turn applique though, Alan. We're doing an inset thing. This is for the group quilt, which is why we want to do. I want people to do it like this. You can do turn applique on for other things. That does work, but this is very much. I want it as an aperture, which is why we're doing this method. Okay, so we're going to add. Start in the crease. Okay, take your stitch down to about 2. Okay, make sure that you're doing a small stitch and you're going to pull this fabric out of the way here. Okay, and we are going to take a few stitches. So a few stitches. Okay, stop, make sure your fabric's out of the way and take a few more stitches. Okay, so you know, you're doing sort of about 1 inch at a time. There we go. Linda, you're with us. Brilliant, brilliant. It is relatively easy to do. It's your problem, guys, is going to be deciding what you put behind your aperture before you send it in to me. There we go. So you can see I'm going quite slow, taking a few stitches at a time, just working my way around, concentrating on where that crease is. Get it nice and smooth, get a nice smooth circle. There we go. see, I've got this, can you see this bit? I don't know if you can see, this bit's a little bit in the way, so I'm going to move it out the way so I can see the crease, which is why you want to do a few at a time. Okay. Hi Josie, how are you, lovely? There we go. And then keep going. So remember, this video will stay on our Facebook page. It will go onto the YouTube channel as well, so you can watch this back, you know, bit by bit if you need to. Oh, that was a bit heavy-handed. It's because I've got my trainers on. So it's a little heavy on the foot there. Okay, sorry. And this is very dull for you to watch because I'm stitching all the way around, and it's very. This is the group quilt project. Yes, it is, Maria. We are doing inset circles. There are only 65 spaces because of the design that I'm going to put all these into. You can choose from any of the ones that are on the website. Sharon, even as a newbie, you explain this in simple terms you understand. Ah, amazing. Fabulous. Can you take some of the block packs to Newark? I can't, my lovely, because there are only a set amount, so I don't want to sell them separately and not on the website, if you see what I mean, because it could get very, very confusing. But they'll come out in the, if you want to order it on the website in one of the colours, and I can bring it with me to and just do clicking. Well, they're free postage anyway, but I can bring it with me to Newark. But I'm not going to sell them at Newark because I need to know exactly how many have gone, if that means. Is the white pack pure white or creamy? It's like a creamy ivory colour. I put white on the website because it is actually, it's all Macawa linen texture, and it is actually called white, but it is more of a creamy ivory than white. It's certainly not bright white. It's W1. But it's not really white. I'm not sure why they called it W1, to be honest, because it's their lightest linen texture. But it's not, definitely not white. It's more creamy ivory. So yeah, Sue, if you wanted to be involved and you want to get one of the packs, I can absolutely bring it with me to Newark with me rather than put it in the post. But I want to sell them all through the website so that I know that we're going to have enough, that I don't oversell them by mistake, because because of the design of how I'm going to put them together, there are only 65 packs, and I wouldn't want somebody to go into all this effort and there'd be 67 come in and then suddenly I can't put them all in. Do you understand what I mean? I hope you do. Which is why I'm saying go through the website, please, to order one. Okay. Because otherwise my poor little brain will get confused and I'll end up selling too many or something. Right, there we go. Okay, I've gone all the way round. Very dull for you to watch. Sorry, guys. And then we're going to come back over here. Okay. And then we're going to press this, and you want to press it outwards. Okay, so keep it all going outwards like that. Okay, and give this a really lovely press. You can give it a little bit more starch if you want to. Can you see how this looks crinkled and like puckered? But it's only because of how I've been manipulating it. Once you've ironed it, it goes lovely and flat. Okay, like that. Now, you can make that piece of fabric first, like we were talking about, your mile a minute or crazy patchwork or whatever, cut it out and attach it. But it might be that once you've put your aperture in, you've thought, oh, actually, I could do a little bit of embroidery. I could add some embroidery into my fabric, or I could add, you don't have to though, you can just do a piece of fabric, whatever you want, you know. But if you want to, there's nothing stopping you decorating this up once it's in, okay? Can you see how flat, lovely and flat that's gone, okay? You're then, now, this is, so I'm going to come back here a second, guys, all right? It needs to be 8.5 inches. If you are confident with your squaring up and you can get it exactly 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches, go for it. Square it up for me, okay? Take one of the jobs off me or Anne or Sarah. If you are not confident in squaring it up, I'll leave it like that. and send it into us, and we will square it up because of how it's all going to be put together, which I can't show you because I can't show you until I've put it all together. But the design that's in my head, we need to be quite accurate with the cutting, with the squaring up. So if you're not confident in your squaring up, just send it in as is. Send it back to us like that, and we'll square them up. If you are confident, and most of you are, 99.9% of you are absolutely fine, square it up to 8.5 inches. Okay, so if I come back here a second, remember you want this circle to be dead center. So what you would do again is just put finger press back in those guidelines there and there. Okay, and I'm going to measure 4 1/4 from the center out, because half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I would go 4 1/4 there, 4 1/4 off that middle one there, trim off. As you can see, I've given you lots and lots extra. Okay, lots and lots extra, and then turn it and then do exactly 8.5 by 8.5. So this is central. Okay, but if you're worried about that bit, send them in as is. Okay, please don't put any decorative stitching on the background fabric. Keep everything within the circle, because again, that's going to mess with the quilting that I'm going to do on it. Okay, so please don't put any stitching on the background fabric. Keep it all within the aperture. What's an aperture? Aperture. So yeah, so that is Anne and I say send in uncut, we'll square them up. Yeah, do you know what? That's probably a best idea, because then if we mess it up, it's our fault. But if you guys are a little bit off, then I'm going to be swearing trying to get them to go in. So actually send them in uncut. Send them in like that. I think that's a good shout, actually. Linda, what do we do about making all the different colours go nicely together? As no clue what colours anyone else will use. Don't worry about that. That is not your problem, my darling. That's my problem. In the nicest possible way. It doesn't matter. The reason I've chosen the background fabrics is because it doesn't matter if this is this one and the one next to it is pinks and purples and yellows, and the one next to that is, you know, a green landscape painting. Don't worry about that. That's the bit that I'm sorting out in my head. Okay, you do whatever represents you. Okay, it could be your name. You could put your name or your initial if you want to. You do whatever you want, what makes you happy, what brings you joy in the circle. Okay, and whether that is just a single piece of fabric, like we said, I've given you lots of ideas. It could be jelly roll strips, it could be EPP, it could be FPP, it could be a tiny, tiny miniature quilt, it could be some crazy patchwork, it could be a machine embroidery, it could be anything at all. You could print a photo onto fabric, with freezer paper, you put it through your printer, do that and then stitch into it or not. Anything at all in the centre. Okay, I've got the idea. I promise there's an idea in my head. Actually, it's actually more than in my head. It's all drawn out. I know exactly what I'm doing with it, and I know exactly how the colours are going to go with the background fabric. I want you to do your bit in the centre. Okay, so does that all make sense, my loves? I hope it does. 3D? Yeah, it could be 3D if it wanted to. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to do like fabric manipulation that's got like prairie points and or anything like that. Yeah, 3D, or something like the give it a twirl. And yeah, this bit's not going to be quilted. I'm going to be quilting a design round it. So that's fine. 3D is a good idea, Patty. Actually, you could absolutely do that, love. What's that? Some free motion embroidery. Absolutely, you could do that. You could just do like decorative stitches all over a piece of fabric. Lots and lots of decorative stitches in different colours on a piece of fabric. Yeah, fab. Okay. Obviously, this video stays up. You can watch it back through. I can see there are orders. I can see there are emails coming through, so there's definitely orders coming through. There are only 65 spaces for this one though, because of how the size limit they give us with quilt shows. Your quilt can't be over a certain size, and we struggled with the Manx to get it in size. Well, watch back. Is it one block? What? Just one block? Okay. Please just start by just ordering one pack for yourself. If in a couple of weeks' time, not every people have gone, oh, I don't want to do it, and we have 20 blocks left to do because I need 65 total. I will be shouting out, going, does anybody else want to do another block? And you can. What I've done is I've put the blocks on the website, the exact number that I need, basically. So please start with just one block to give as many people as possible a chance to join in, because it was lovely. I mean, there was so many people. I think it was 90 something that wanted to join with the Manx, and a lot of people did 2 blocks, so it was humongous. So that's why I'm restricting it to 1 each to keep it in the size. Because you all love to join in, which is amazing, but then I've got to keep it to the size that they allow us in the competitions. You've just placed an order. Amazing, Anna. Lovely, lovely. So you have got till March the 15th to get your block to me, okay? Order your packs. They're live on the website now. It's free postage. They're £2.50 for the pack, which gives you your background fabric, your template, and your freezer paper. But it's free postage, so you should get to you in a couple of days' time. And you've got then, it's about 8 weeks, I think it is, till March the 15th. Not quite, 7-8 weeks, something like that, to get the block back to me, which then gives me, Sarah and Anne time to square them all up. Don't square them up, okay? Leave them like that. We'll square them all up, put the quilt together, and then we quilt it, and then it will be going into the Malvern Quilt Show. So Quilts UK Malvern, which is in May, and we'll put it into Festival Quilts as well in August. And then probably like not Duxford, used to be Harrogate, Doncaster. I'll probably put one in the sort of up north in the autumn as well. So please do go and order if you'd like to, and I will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We've got a nice quick little project to do there. Pop March the 15th into your diary for 2 reasons. One, for this block, but also Sewing Street. We've got our first shows on Sewing Street, March 15th, 10 a.m. and 12 a.m. So yeah, I'll see you all soon. Sorry, it was a really long one, but I wanted to do this in depth. So I will see you soon, guys. Bye.